There is a mystery hidden in the night, one that many believers never recognize. When everything around you becomes quiet, when the world falls asleep, when your room grows still, something deeper awakens inside you. The night is not just a time for physical rest. It is the moment when your spirit, mind, and emotions begin their private conversations. Most people enter the night carrying the weight of the entire day, thoughts they never slowed down to examine, emotions they never gave permission to feel, and spiritual heaviness they never had time to release. These layers sink quietly into the subconscious, and the night becomes their storage place. This is why for some people, night brings clarity, and for others it brings chaos. It's why some sleep peacefully, and some wake up feeling like they didn't rest at all. It's why one person dreams of light, and another dreams of shadows. It's not magic, and it's not an attack every time. Most of the time, it is the weight you never processed. Your mind tries to settle, but the memories you try to forget start floating back. Your heart tries to rest, but the emotions you ignored start knocking. Your spirit tries to breathe, but the atmosphere around you feels thick and heavy. This is where the ancient wisdom of clove water with salt becomes relevant, not as a weapon against enemies, but as a purifier for the inner environment you carry. Because long before any darkness tries to enter your space, the heaviness inside you begins to attract it. And long before spiritual clarity arrives, your emotional atmosphere must be cleared. Most people pray from the outside in, but true cleansing begins from the inside out. That is why the night is important. It reveals the condition of your spirit. If you sleep in a disturbed state, it shows up as restlessness. If your heart is overwhelmed, it shows up as strange dreams. If your atmosphere is cluttered, it shows up as mental fog when you wake up. And God never intended for his children to sleep that way. There is a divine principle. Rest is spiritual warfare. Not fighting, not shouting, not confronting enemies, but resting. Why? Because peace is a territory the enemy cannot enter. Calmness is a shield he cannot break. Stillness is a fortress he cannot climb. This is where the mixture you place beside your bed becomes a symbol of realignment. Cloves release a gentle fragrance that calms the breath, slows the heart rate, and settles the nervous system. For centuries, cultures believed that certain fragrances could quiet the soul, not by force, but by resonance. Fragrance affects memory, emotion, and thought patterns. That is why a single scent can remind you of childhood, love, home, or safety. When cloves release their warm note into your room overnight, they help your subconscious unclench itself. The hidden corners of your mind begin to open. Emotional knots begin to loosen. The atmosphere of your room shifts subtly but powerfully. Salt, on the other hand, is one of the most consistent elements across spiritual history. It represents purity, clarity, and stabilization. When salt dissolves into water, it creates an ionic field that absorbs emotional heaviness, like an invisible sponge drawing out the remnants of stress, anxiety, and unprocessed fear floating in your environment. Together, they do not fight darkness. They simply make darkness uncomfortable. They do not chase anything away. They make heaviness lose its grip. And the moment heaviness loses its grip, peace finds a place to stand. This is why countless people notice immediate shifts inside them after placing this mixture beside their bed. Not because anything supernatural is attacking them, but because their spirit finally gets space to breathe. The first morning after using this ritual often feels like this. Your chest feels lighter. Your mind feels clearer. Your heart feels calmer. Your dreams feel peaceful. Your room feels brighter. And your emotions feel refreshed. Not because the world has changed, but because you changed inside. Remember, your environment may remain the same, but your inner atmosphere determines how you interpret the world around you. This is why God often begins deliverance by cleansing the heart before the home, the mind before the environment, and the emotions before the circumstances. And tonight, as you begin this journey, you are not cleansing your room, you are cleansing the part of yourself that sleeps when you cannot see and wakes when you do not realize. Most people don't realize this, but the greatest battles of your life are often the ones you never see. They don't show up as storms in the sky. They don't announce themselves with thunder. They appear silently through patterns, cycles, an unexplained heaviness that follows you from one season to another. You may wake up, pray, work hard, stay disciplined, yet something feels blocked, something feels resisted, something feels chained. This is because not every weight on your life is physical. Some weights are spiritual burdens, curses, negative declarations, ancestral limitations, or environmental energies that cling to your life without permission. And many times, these things don't come to you because of your own actions. They come because of the environment you were raised in, the house you lived in, the people you interacted with, or the spiritual climate you inherited. A curse isn't always a dramatic spiritual attack. Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it looks like ordinary life. Yet it drains you in extraordinary ways. You start noticing signs, things working for others but not for you. Doors opening for everyone else but closing for you at the last moment. Opportunities slipping away without logical explanation. Money coming into your hands but never staying. Relationships forming but never lasting. Dreams starting strongly but dying suddenly. A constant sense of delay, resistance, or stagnation. These patterns are not coincidences. They are spiritual fingerprints, marks left by something unseen. This is why many people pray yet see no change, because they are fighting a spiritual problem with a physical approach. You can change your habits, your strategies, your decisions, but until you remove the invisible weight on your spirit, your progress will always feel like swimming against a current. This is where the prophetic morning drink comes in. Not as a magic potion, not as superstition, but as a symbolic, faith-activated cleansing routine. Its power does not come from the ingredients alone. Its power comes from the alignment of your spirit, your faith, and your declaration as you consume it. God often uses simple things: water, salt, oil, leaves, soil, to represent deeper spiritual realities. And just like the combination of water, honey, and lemon carries physical cleansing properties, it also symbolizes spiritual purification, sweetening of destiny, and release from negative energies. When taken for 3 mornings under deliberate faith, this drink becomes a prophetic act, a way of saying, I break partnership with every negative pattern. I disconnect from every inherited burden. I wash away every invisible residue limiting my life. I step into clarity, freedom, and divine alignment. Many people don't realize this, but curses don't only attach to your spirit. They can cling to your habits, your emotions, your environment, and even the energy around your body. That's why simple prophetic acts can break what years of frustration could not. Because when your mind, spirit, and body come into agreement, transformation becomes unavoidable. In these 3 mornings, something unusual begins to happen. Your thoughts clear up. Your emotions stabilize. Your body feels lighter. Your spirit becomes more alert. Your atmosphere changes. Your decisions improve. Your environment becomes more peaceful. Suddenly, delays begin to lift. Doors start opening again. People who previously ignored you begin responding. Situations that were stuck begin to move. It is not the drink alone. It is not the ingredients. It is the intention behind the act. It is the faith you activate while drinking it. It is the alignment that happens when your spirit cooperates with divine cleansing. Think of it this way. When a phone is full of unnecessary files, it slows down. Not because the phone is damaged, but because its memory is cluttered. Once you clear the junk, the phone becomes fast again. In the same way, your spirit sometimes carries invisible clutter that needs to be released. This simple morning act begins that clearing process, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. But how exactly do curses attach themselves? How do negative energies find access? How do patterns pass down through families and environments? How can something unseen have such a visible impact on your life? To understand this, we must go deeper into the spiritual mechanics behind invisible burdens. Because once you understand how these things operate, you will finally understand why this 3 morning process works so powerfully. Before you even take the first sip of the cleansing morning drink, before you activate the prophetic routine, there is a deeper truth you must understand. Curses, negative cycles, and spiritual burdens do not happen randomly. They follow laws, they follow gateways, they follow patterns of access. Most people assume curses are simply bad luck. Others think they are superstition. But spiritually mature people know nothing attaches to your life without a legal doorway. Just like a disease needs a point of entry into the human body, a curse needs a spiritual opening into your life. These openings are rarely dramatic. They are subtle. They hide inside ordinary life. And if you don't understand them, you may keep fighting symptoms while ignoring the real source. Let's break down these gateways one by one, so you can finally see the mechanics behind what has been affecting your life. 1. The gate of words. Spoken intentions that shape atmospheres. Words are powerful. Words are seeds. Words are containers of energy. Every word spoken over you, blessing or curse, creates a spiritual imprint. There are 3 major types of word gates. A. Words spoken against you by others. This includes jealousy, anger, bitterness, envy, manipulation, and spiritual hatred. Some people curse you unintentionally, others do it intentionally. When these words are fueled by strong emotion, they release negative energy that can cling to your atmosphere. B. Words spoken by you about yourself. This is the most dangerous form. Every time you say, "I am unlucky, nothing works for me, I always lose, I am tired of life," you are writing your own curse with your tongue. See words spoken in spiritual anger or authority. Some individuals carry spiritual weight. Parents, partners, elders, spiritual figures. When they speak negatively, the words travel deeper. This is one of the primary unseen mechanisms behind long-term spiritual heaviness. 2. The gate of environments, the atmosphere you live in. Every environment carries a spiritual climate. Some places attract peace, others attract chaos. Some environments make you feel lifted, others drain you like a vacuum. If you live in a house with constant arguments, a place where negative activities happened, a home filled with resentment or hopelessness, a building where people struggled or suffered, the spiritual residue remains like smoke that clings to clothes. These atmospheres cling to your spirit. Many people think they are depressed, but it's the environment influencing their emotional energy. This is why the 3-day prophetic drink works so powerfully. It resets your internal environment so external atmospheres lose power over you. 3. The gate of ancestry. Patterns you inherited without consent. Not all battles start with you. Some start with those who came before you. Families pass down patterns, mindsets, emotional wounds, financial cycles, spiritual burdens, unresolved covenants, trauma and fear. These things travel through bloodlines like spiritual DNA. If your ancestors struggled with poverty, sickness, divorce, addiction, misfortune, early death, repeated failure, there is a high chance you may feel the echo of those struggles. These ancestral cycles aren't demons chasing you. They are spiritual patterns waiting for someone to break them. You may be the first in your bloodline to say, "It ends with me." And that's what this morning routine begins to activate. 4. The gate of personal energy. What you carry within. You become what you repeatedly feel. Your emotional state forms your spiritual fragrance. When people experience long seasons of sadness, fear, disappointment, betrayal, heartbreak, guilt, shame, chronic stress, it weakens the spiritual immune system. Just like a stressed body gets sick easily, a stressed spirit becomes vulnerable to negative energy. This is why the morning drink is symbolic. It strengthens your inner atmosphere and restores balance. Because when your spirit becomes healthy again, negative things lose access to you. 5. The gate of objects and exchange, invisible transfers. Most people don't know this. Items carry energy. Gifts, clothes, jewelry, personal belongings, even money, all can carry emotional or spiritual residue from the person who owned them. Have you ever touched an object and felt something? A sudden heaviness, a sudden discomfort, a sudden peace? Because objects can act as silent carriers of spiritual energy, many curses enter through exchanges. Not because the object is evil, but because the energy attached to it is heavy. So why does the 3 morning drink work? Because it does two things. One, it disrupts negative spiritual patterns. By symbolizing cleansing, sweetness, and purification, it signals to your spirit, I am breaking old cycles. It reprograms your internal atmosphere. As your body and spirit align in faith, your energy lifts, your clarity returns, your spirit becomes empowered, and the gateways of access begin to close. This is why countless people experience sudden shifts, not because of the ingredients, but because their entire internal system resets. Now that you understand how curses attach themselves, we need to move deeper into the real spiritual technology of breaking them at their origin. Most people try to fight curses like someone trying to cut branches off a tree. They react to symptoms. They focus on the visible problems, the delays, the sickness, the financial struggles, the emotional heaviness. But symptoms are not the root. The root is hidden beneath years of cycles, patterns, and invisible spiritual agreements. If you want lasting freedom, you must break the root of the pattern, not the leaves, not the branches, but the root. This part reveals the actual spiritual mechanics behind breaking curses permanently and preparing your spirit for the 3-morning cleansing ritual. Let's begin. 1. Revealing the invisible root structure of curses. Every curse, whether emotional, generational, environmental, or spiritual, has 3 core components. A point of origin. This is where the energy first formed. It could be an event, a person, a spoken word, a traumatic experience, or an ancestral agreement. Nothing negative appears without a birthplace. B, a repeating pattern. Curses operate on cycles. They repeat at intervals. You see the same situations occurring: losing opportunities, repeated heartbreak, financial collapse, recurring sickness, sudden fear, or constant resistance. Patterns are the fingerprints of spiritual influence. C, a fueling source. Just as fire needs oxygen, curses need energy to stay alive. This energy often comes from fear, hopelessness, unresolved emotions, guilt, anger, bitterness, or continued negative environment. When you remove the fuel, the curse collapses like a flame without air. 2. The first step: breaking emotional agreements. Many spiritual burdens survive because your emotions unknowingly agree with them. Here's the secret spiritual principle: a feeling sustained long enough becomes an agreement. If you repeatedly feel, I am unlucky, my life is cursed, nothing good happens to me, something is blocking me, I don't deserve good things, your emotional energy becomes a match for the negativity around you. Breaking emotional agreements requires A, awareness. Recognize what you feel repeatedly. B, interrupting the emotion. Shift your internal posture. Declare the opposite. Speak life over your own atmosphere. C, feeding your spirit with positive energy. The morning drink works at this stage because it resets your emotional frequency, removes heaviness, and replaces negative energy with cleansing vibration. 3. The second step: closing ancestral gateways. Ancestral patterns are not demons chasing you. They are inherited cycles waiting for agreement. Just as you inherit physical features, you inherit emotional and spiritual residues too. But here is the powerful truth: you may have inherited the pattern, but you do not have to continue it. Closing ancestral gateways involves A, awareness of recurring family struggles. Do others in your bloodline suffer the same issues? If yes, it is a pattern, not random chance. B, breaking internal permission. You revoke the pattern's influence over your life. C, activating spiritual cleansing. The 3-morning ritual becomes symbolic here. It represents cutting the generational chain and rewiring your spiritual DNA. When your spirit stands in authority, ancestral cycles lose their power. 4. The third step: purifying your inner energy field. Before any curse leaves your life, your internal atmosphere must rise above the negative energy. Think of it like tuning a radio. If you're tuned to a low frequency, You attract low-frequency experiences. The cleansing drink is not just a physical act. It is a spiritual alignment tool. As you drink it, your mind begins to calm. Your heart releases pressure. Your nervous system balances. Your emotional energy lifts. Your spirit gains clarity. Your inner environment becomes lighter. Negative energy cannot attach to a spirit that is vibrating higher. This is why the ritual works so quickly. It restores your energy field faster than emotional recovery alone. 5. The fourth step, severing spoken word attachments. Words carry spiritual threads. If a harmful word was spoken over you, especially by someone with emotional authority, it can remain attached like unseen chains. Breaking word attachments requires A. Identifying destructive phrases spoken over your life. It might be something you heard repeatedly growing up, or something someone told you in anger, or something you said about yourself. B. Replacing them with counter words, not positive thinking, but powerful spiritual declarations. C. Repeating the counter declarations during the 3-morning ritual. Words spoken during spiritual cleansing hit deeper. They override older patterns. They dissolve the energetic foundation of curses. 6. The fifth step, resetting your home's atmosphere. Your home holds energy. Your room holds memory. Your living space absorbs your emotional frequency. Before your life can shift, your environment must be aligned with the change you seek. This involves cleaning clutter, rearranging airflow, opening windows, removing items with negative associations, letting light enter, burning incense, herbs, or simply circulating fresh air. When your home shifts, your spirit follows. Why these steps matter before the ritual? Because the morning drink is not magic, it's a trigger. A spiritual activation that works only when the internal and external gates are aligned. When these steps are followed, the ritual becomes unstoppable. It disconnects you from the root of the curse, starves the negative energy, breaks emotional agreements, and purifies your spiritual atmosphere. This is the moment real deliverance begins. You've now reached the most important and transformative part of this entire journey. Everything you've learned so far, the gateways, the emotional agreements, the ancestral patterns, the spiritual mechanics, was preparing you for this moment. The 3-morning cleansing ritual. This is the point where knowledge becomes action, where understanding becomes transformation, and where spiritual awareness becomes spiritual release. Many people feel sudden breakthroughs during this process. Others feel a quiet but powerful shift in their energy. Some experience emotional release, clarity, or inner calmness they haven't felt in years. But to truly activate it, you must perform it exactly as described. This ritual works because of its spiritual symbolism, its emotional alignment, and the morning energy window, which is spiritually sensitive. Let's begin the complete step-by-step guide. Section 1. Why morning time matters spiritually. Morning is not just the start of a new day. It is the moment when the spiritual atmosphere resets. Between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m., your mind is clear. Your emotional guard is low. Your spirit is receptive. And the veil between the physical and spiritual realms is thinner. This is why ancient cultures, scriptures, and prophets emphasize early morning rituals. The energy of the morning carries purification, renewal, rebirth, and clarity. Performing the ritual during this time aligns your spirit with cleansing, release, rebalancing, new beginnings, divine protection. This window amplifies the effect of the ritual and makes the cleansing immediate. Section 2. What you will need: simple but symbolic ingredients. The power is not in the ingredients themselves. It is a symbolism behind them. You will need 1. Clean water, room temperature or slightly warm. Water symbolizes purification, spiritual washing, emotional release, renewal. It absorbs and dissolves energetic heaviness. 2. A small pinch of salt. Salt has been used for centuries in almost every spiritual tradition. It represents protection, cleansing, breaking negative attachments, neutralizing energy. Salt destabilizes negative spiritual frequencies. 3. Honey, a few drops. Honey symbolizes sweetness, favor, abundance, divine mercy, positive attraction. It replaces the bitterness removed by cleansing with sweetness and blessings. 4. Your voice. Yes, your voice is part of the ritual. Words shape energy. Declarations are the spiritual coding language of your life. Your voice activates the transformation. Section 3. How to prepare yourself before drinking. 1. Sit in a quiet place, no distractions. Silence prepares your spirit. 2. Take 3 deep breaths. Breathing signals your nervous system to release stress. Your spirit becomes open, calm, and receptive. 3. Gently hold the cup with both hands. This creates a connection between your energy and the cleansing mixture. 4. Close your eyes for 5 seconds. This shifts your focus inward. The real transformation always starts inside. Section 4. The exact 3 morning ritual follow precisely. Morning 1. Cleansing the old energy. Take the cup and speak these words aloud. Every weight, every burden, every negative energy attached to me, I release you now. You have no place in me. I am cleansing my spirit. Drink it slowly. As you swallow, imagine heaviness leaving your body. Some people even feel warmth in their chest or back. That is emotional release. After drinking, sit still for 1-2 minutes. Let the cleansing settle. This first morning breaks emotional agreements and begins dissolving energetic residue. Morning 2, breaking invisible attachments. Hold the cup again. This time speak. Every curse, every negative cycle, every hidden attachment, you are broken. I detach myself from all negative sources, past or present. Drink at the same slow pace. This morning is the most intense spiritually. It begins dismantling ancestral energy, spoken word attachments, and old patterns. Some people feel lightness, clarity, emotional release, deep calm. The second morning is the turning point. Morning 3, replacing everything with blessing. This is the morning of rebirth. Speak. My life is restored. My spirit is renewed. Blessing, sweetness, favor, and protection surround me. Everything attached to me now aligns with peace and divine guidance. Drink slowly and intentionally. As the honey touches your tongue, imagine sweetness entering your destiny. This final morning seals the transformation, switches your internal energy field, and activates positive attraction. Section 5, what you will feel after the ritual. Different people experience different results, but the most common are emotional lightness, clarity of mind, improved sleep, reduced anxiety, sudden opportunities, release from negativity, peace in the home, spiritual protection, restored energy, new motivation, clearer intuition. Some feel effects instantly, others within days, but almost everyone feels a noticeable change. Section 6, what not to do during the 3 days to ensure the ritual works without interruption. Do not argue with anyone. Do not engage in negative conversations. Do not hold grudges. Do not consume heavy emotional content. Do not self-criticize. Do not wake up late. Do not miss any morning. Your emotional state must stay clean, so the spiritual cleansing remains active. Section 7, the spiritual reason this works. It works because the ritual resets your emotional frequency, breaks spiritual attachments, realigns your energy field, dissolves ancestral cycles, interrupts negative patterns, activates positive attraction, seals your spirit from external influences. This is not superstition. It is spiritual, emotional, and energetic alignment. Once your spirit rises, everything connected to you rises. You have completed the 3 morning cleansing ritual. Your spiritual atmosphere has shifted. Your emotional frequency has risen. Your energy field has been recalibrated. But now comes the most important part of all: maintaining your protection. Many people experience breakthrough, but then slowly slip back into old emotional patterns, old environments, old habits, and the spiritual atmosphere returns to what it used to be. This is why some individuals experience cycles of progress, setback. Not because the cleansing didn't work, but because their spiritual maintenance system was weak. Just like a clean house becomes dusty again when neglected, A cleansed spirit can become vulnerable if not continuously strengthened. This final part will teach you how to remain protected, not for 3 days, not for 3 months, but for a lifetime. Section 1, the law of spiritual maintenance. Breakthrough is an event. Protection is a lifestyle. You do not need complicated rituals. You do not need expensive materials. You do not need to fear negative energy. You simply need the right habits. Habits that keep your spirit at a higher frequency and prevent negativity from finding a doorway back into your life. Here are the essential maintenance pillars. Section 2, keep your emotional field clean. Negative emotions are the most common doorway for spiritual heaviness. If you frequently feel anger, sadness, bitterness, hopelessness, jealousy, guilt, fear, resentment, your emotional field becomes weakened. To stay protected, practice 1. 5 minutes of quiet breathing daily. This resets your nervous system and dissolves emotional fog. 2. Observe your emotions without reacting. Your spirit becomes stronger when you refuse to feed negative feelings. 3. Speak one positive declaration each morning. Declarations align your inner world with strength. Try. My spirit is protected. My energy is clear. Only goodness flows toward me. The cleaner your emotional state, the harder it is for negativity to attach. Section 3, protect your atmosphere and environment. Every environment has energy. Whatever you surround yourself with, you absorb. Do this regularly. 1. Open windows for at least 10 minutes each morning. Fresh air removes stagnant energy. 2. Keep your sleeping area uncluttered. Chaos in the room creates chaos in the spirit. 3. Avoid keeping broken or unused items. Objects hold emotional memory. Let go of anything that carries negative associations. 4. Keep a small corner of your home peaceful. A candle, a plant, a book, anything that symbolizes calmness. Your home should be the safest spiritual space in your life. Section 4, words as daily protection. Just as harmful words can affect your life, healing words can shield it. Speak these kinds of statements daily. I am protected. I am surrounded by peace. No negative energy has access to me. My spirit is strong and aligned. My life is guarded from all harmful intentions. Spoken words shape your spiritual vibrational level. When your words become strong, your atmosphere becomes unbreakable. Section 5, disconnect from negative influences. Spiritual heaviness often enters through people, not because they are evil, but because they are emotionally wounded, energetically unstable, or spiritually draining. To maintain protection. 1. Reduce contact with draining individuals. People who constantly complain or live in negativity lower your frequency. 2. Never argue unnecessarily. Arguments create emotional openings. 3. Guard your heart. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. 4. Be selective with who you share personal information with. Energy follows attention. Some people carry envy, and envy carries spiritual weight. This does not mean avoiding people. It means managing your boundaries. Section 6, maintain a high spiritual frequency. Cleansing is not just about removing darkness. It's about increasing light. When your spiritual frequency is high, negativity cannot touch you. Here are simple practices that lift your inner vibration. 1. Gratitude for 30 seconds a day. Gratitude is spiritual armor. 2. Gentle morning stretching. This opens your energy centers. 3. Drinking water first thing in the morning. Water carries purification energy. 4. Listening to calming or spiritual music. Sound cleanses the emotional body. 5. Speaking kindness. Kindness increases protection. A high-frequency spirit naturally repels darkness. No effort required. Section 7, how to know you are fully protected. You will notice signs. Your sleep becomes deeper. Your mind becomes clearer. You stop overreacting. You feel lighter and more peaceful. You sense guidance more easily. Opportunities open effortlessly. Negativity no longer sticks. People treat you differently. You attract positivity effortlessly. These are indicators that your spiritual field is aligned, strong, and protected. Section 8. What to do if you feel the energy dropping again? Energy fluctuates. This is normal if you feel negativity returning. 1. Drink a glass of clean water slowly. 2. Take 3 deep breaths. 3. Speak a protective declaration. 4. Step outside into fresh air for 1 minute. These quick resets break emotional buildup before it becomes spiritual heaviness. And if ever you feel the need, you can repeat the 3 morning ritual again. Once a month is powerful and safe. Final message: you are no longer vulnerable. You are now spiritually cleansed. You are energetically protected. You are emotionally strong. You are aligned with peace, clarity, and divine guidance. No curse, no negative energy, no harmful intention, and no invisible force has the right to return to your life. You are free, fully, deeply, permanently.